My name's James Donnelly, born James Donnelly, but everyone calls me JD. They just call me by my initials. I've been like that since the 1960s, like, you know. I abide at 1463 London Road, Glasgow. My house was illegally searched with 20 odd police looking for Princess Diana's mum's jewels. And all these police come in. And I think there was about three van loads of them, like, and they started pulling the place to bits. Well, look, I've tried to rattle my brains actually to find the reason that they did search the house. But the only thing that I can think of, I found a letter up in Oban in a charity shop when I was in there with my girlfriend Nancy, and a letter found that he fell out of an art book I bought for 50p with Princess Diana, and I thought maybe they were looking for that. But my stall was broken into the antique market uh, shortly after this, and I lost approximately £5,000 worth of jewellery. But at the same time as I lost my jewels, the Shankid's house, whose Princess Diana's mum was broken into up in Oban, and she lost her jewels at the same time as I lost my jewels. But what I think actually happened, I think the police got their wires crossed here because I went looking for my jewels, and somebody didn't like it and phoned up and said that had something to do with Shankid's jewels going missing, Princess Diana's mum. You know. I contacted the police when my stall was broken into, and they sent and it's, well, they sent a constable down, but they never took any fingerprints or anything off of the jewellery boxes that had the jewels in, rings and watches and stuff like that, you know. They pushed past me, they had a bit of paper, but I never seen any warrant. But I've wrote to Oban Procurator Office, I've wrote to Alicia Angeloni, I've wrote to all the PFs and Crown Office in Edinburgh. But apparently they can't produce a warrant, they can't show me a warrant, so I don't think they really had a warrant. I think the police just searched my house off their own back. And it was Lochgillock police, which was strange to me because that's the Oban way. That was the same place where I found the letter. So I don't know if there was some connection there, you know. And over the years, I've had to get it repaired bit by bit. But my electrical lights have been out for a long time there, and they keep on blowing, and I keep on getting them repairing the fuses. But this week, I managed to get a chap up in there to rebuy the wires outside the walls, because he reckoned that the dampness is blowing the lights all the time, you know. But this is due to police damage, where the police illegally searched my house, you know. This is a letter that Kenny O'Neill, the inspector, he came up here to supposedly look at the damage to my house. But he wrote this letter out. To whom it may concern, I wish to withdraw the complaint and allegation. If you listen to these 5 words here, I made in my letter on the 8th November 2002. Now, the 8th November 2002 was the day that my house was illegally searched by these policemen, right? And what happened here is I took this letter to the Postmaster General at Cuby Street in Glasgow here, and he looked at the postal address here, and he says this postal address here is G32 GPX. I mean, that sounds like a sports car or something to me. But the Postmaster General, John, I can't remember his second name, he says to me, he said, whoever wrote this postal address up, it doesn't exist. My postal address is G314PX. Now, I took this letter to a handwriting expert, and this is Jim Donnelly, it says the writing's like that. I signed my signature at an angle, and the handwriting expert said, the guy that wrote this letter signed your name here. Now, if you look at it here, it says the 3rd of February 2003. Now, this is when this detective come up to look at the damage, you know. Now, this is a letter for the police here. Mr. Donnelly, as you're aware, you initially intimated your complaint at Shettleston Police Office the 15th of November 2002. That is wrong. I complained at London Road Police Station, so it's not the right place. At this time, your complaint, although withdrawn. Now, At this time, this is 2002, right? November 2002. At this time, although your complaint was withdrawn by you. Now, how can that be if he came in 2003? You get me? So, what the police are really saying here, that it was in 2002 that I dropped my letter and this letter and the allegation, but he signed this 2003. So he came in 2003 and wrote this letter, you know. But they asked me to sign this bit of paper he had in the clipboard, but I wouldn't sign it, you know. But you can see here, and if you read this letter carefully, the police are lying through their teeth. And this is, I wrote to him again about this, and it says, Mr. Donnelly, I also note that you state in your most recent correspondence, this is hundreds of letters back for it, that you did not write a letter of withdrawal and wish a copy of this warrant executed at your home at 1463 Glasgow on the 8th of November 2002. Firstly, to clarify matters, the letter of withdrawal was written out on your behalf by Inspector O'Neill and both signed by you and him, which is lies. I can confirm that the officer who attended your house on the 8th of November were in possession of a lawful search warrant. They told me they don't have a warrant. That's a Crown Office, right? However, if you wish a copy of either of these documents, you can be subject to access to the Freedom of Information Act. I don't know how many Freedom of Information Acts it took me to get this letter, the police letter, the fraud letter. It took me 9 years. It took me 9 years to get this. The reason I painted outside of the house is I really can't get the message out to the public of what's really happening here, and it's just put me through a total nightmare. I've actually been suicidal myself at one point with this, and the actual Crown Office they try to certify me through the Mental Health Act, but when the mental health people contacted me and I explained what actually happened, they said, we want anything to do with this, because they're wondering how a wee guy from the East End's met the Queen and all these important people. But it's not right what they can do to people. Since I've started protesting my boy there, the people that stopped, it's unbelievable, Mark, the people that's actually stopped here and the wrongdoings I've had with lawyers and the legal system, you know.